Good morning, Age of Sigmar fans. We're just getting ready. We've got Sean McGinley on the left of your screen and Paul O'Boyle on the right. Sean playing Night Haunts and Paul playing Daughters of Cain. We'll give you a rundown of the lists in a bit, but just hang tight while they just set up, and the time will start. Ten players today, 3 rounds, 90 minutes. Should be starting around about 1:45. Any questions? Chat on the stream. Both streaming to Twitch and YouTube today. Give us a shout out. Let us know you're there. It's all live. I believe Sean's rocking Lady Orlando today, Chainstrap Horde, Guardians of Souls and Deathside Harridans with Chain Guard Battalion. I'll talk you through some of them as we go. James should be in with Paul's list in a bit. Just starting the round now, guys. So 1 hour 30 minutes. You can give us a rundown of the list, James?
Yes, so for our first game we have, let's find this list, we have Paul O'Boyle on the right hand side of the table, and he is using Daughters of Cain. Excuse me. And he has got a Bloodrack Medusa, which is his general. He's also got a Hag Queen with the Prayer of Catechism of Murder. He's got on his Bloodrat Medusa, which is his general, sorry, he's got the command trait of Mistress of Illusion, the artifact 1001 Dark Blessings, and the Law of Shadows, Pit of Shades. I'll go into them in a bit more detail once the game starts.
Good morning, Mr. Brooks.
Morning, Mr. Brooks. Feeling fresh, I bet. And then
Star jumps.
Units wise, he's got 10 times Blood Sisters, 5 times Blood Stalkers, 5 Canary Heart Renders, and 5 Canary, another 5 Canary Heart Renders. And he's got 2 units of 10 Witch Elves, and that brings him to a bang-on total of 1,000 points. He's got 3 Battle Line, 2 Leaders, and then another unit. So that's Paul's list, and then we'll go to Sean's, and Sean has got, let's find his list. Sean has got 2 units of Chain Rasp Horde as his battle line. He's then got Dreadscythe Harridans, the Guardian of Souls, and Lady Orlando in his list. So it's a nice simple list, but with all the new Nighthaunt stuff, they really do work off each other quite well. And they're just quite interesting because the entire army has a 4-up save, which can't be improved or lowered by any means of magic or anything like that. So they've always got their 4-up saves. They're 50-50 guaranteed. The Daughters of Cain are just a nice new army that have reinvigorated the Dark Elves into the Daughters of Cain, really touching on the Witch Elf side of things, with a new, lot more use of like the Medusae sort of style units with Canary. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play, because I've not yet had the chance to play against a full army of Daughters, so it's going to be really good fun. Sean is nicknamed Shaun the Dead, as he's quite a regular at our tournaments, and he's used various incarnations of Nighthaunts and Death across the months we've seen him. This is only Paul's second game of Age of Sigmar since the second edition, so it'll be interesting to see how much he's learned of his army, or what he'll learn over the coming games, and see how they get on.
And what's the mission on this first round? Taking hold, isn't it?
Taking holds. They've both got an objective 9 inches on in the centre of the board. They are using Night Vault magic dice for this, which you can see just there in between one of Sean's units and on Paul's side of the board. So from the third battle round, if one player holds both objectives, they automatically win and get a major victory. Otherwise, if at the end of the fifth battle round and they only have one each, or no one holds any, it goes on points destroyed. You have to have a unit of 5 models or more to hold it, otherwise it then goes on to the most models. So just going to go and grab some of the War Scrolls up for some of the units being used. We'll have a look at them. I'm going to start with the Daughters of Cain, as it, again, an army that I don't know the most about myself from not being able to play them. So let's have a look.
So stream today both on YouTube and Twitch, so if you have a preference, tune into the channel that you prefer. I've shared the YouTube stream around, but yeah, there's Twitch as well. I know some people's tellies work on Twitch better. Just lifting the camera up there for you.
Can we see a bit more now?
Yeah, a little bit more, yeah.
Should I go up a bit more?
Yeah, why not? Let's have it up a little bit more.
There we go. Can you get a nice look across as they collide, hope maybe in the centre of the field. So just going through one of Paul's War Scrolls. This is his Blood Rack Medusa, which is his general. The basic stats on the Blood Rack Medusa is movement 8, 6 wounds, a 5-up save, and bravery 8. So the save's not great, but we'll carry on looking through. We might have a way to get around that. But movement 8 is quite rapid, 6 wounds, decent number. Its weapon, so it has a missile weapon of a 10-inch range with C below. And that's the Blood Rack Stare. So the Blood Rack Stare works when making a Blood Rack Stare attack. Pick a unit that is visible to the Blood Rack Medusa and roll a dice for each model in that unit. For each 5+ save, the unit suffers a mortal wound. So great against Horde units, as mortal wounds, majority of things do not get a save. And if you roll in loads of dice, you'll be able to drop those numbers quite quickly. Dependent on what weapon he's picked from there, he's got various. You've got the Whisper Claw, the Tail of Serpents, and the Blood Rack Spear. So I believe it actually has all of these. The Whisper Claw is 4 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, no rend, 1 damage. Just a nice, decent amount of dice to roll off some attacks. It's also got the Tail of Serpents, which is D6 attacks with a 2-inch range, so it's got a bit more reach. 4s to hit, 4s to wound for 1 damage. And it's got the Blood Rack Spear, which again 2-inch range, only 2 attacks, but 3s to hit, 3s to wound, -1 rend, and damage D3. Now the handy thing with the amount of dice being rolled for the Medusa in this against the Nighthaunts is not only do the Nighthaunts have that 4-up save, which it ignores all rend, so it's just about getting as many dice in for Sean to fail as possible. The fact that he's using total Nighthaunts as well, it also means it has a 6-up save for any failed saves that go through as well. The other abilities for the Medusa, it has Enfeebling Foe. Is a magic spell with a casting value of 5. If successful, pick a unit within 18 inches of the caster, and until the next hero phase, subtract 1 from wound rolls to that unit in the combat phase. That's great. That's going to make it harder for Sean to put any wounds on any of the Daughters of Cain, especially if he hits one of the nice large units of his battle line, because that'll mean he just gets that fewer dice to roll. It also has access to Arcane Bolt and Mystic Shield, which all magic casters do. If you don't know what they are, Arcane Bolt is a casting value of 5, and if it's successfully cast, pick a unit within 18 inches. That unit takes 1 mortal wound, but if the casting roll was 10 or more, they take D3 mortal wounds instead. Mystic Shield casts on a 6, and if successful, you pick a friendly unit with an 18, and they get to re-roll save rolls of a 1 for that unit until the next hero phase. So that is the Medusa. We'll keep having a look at some more of the other units in Paul's list. Let's have a look at the Canary Heart Renders. Let's find those. Here we go. So these are the flying versions of the Daughters of Cain. They've got a lovely movement of 14, but they do only have 1 wound each and a save of a 6 up. So if there is any rend against them, they are just going to drop like flies. But they have a 12-inch missile attack, which is 1 attack each, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, and -1 rend for 1 damage, which is nice in a normal game, but unfortunately, again, against the Nighthaunts, he's not going to get to use the benefits of the rend. Then they also have their Javelin in combat, which again is 1 attack, 4s to hit, 4s to wound, -1 rend for 1 damage. So very similar all the way through, but obviously just slightly better at shooting than attack.
So we've just had a question about the mix of armies today. We can throw that. If you want to see a few more stats and the results as they come in, you can head over to tabletop.to and search for September Sunday 30th 1000-point tournament, and you should be able to find it. I will throw the link up to that in 1 second. So if you head over to that link, you'll be able to see the results as they come in. Cool. The sound, the commentary might come in and out as we're out all serving at the counter and stuff.
Just going to have a look at one of. We're going to go now that we've had a look at some of Paul's. Going to have a look at a couple of Sean's War Scrolls, and the first one we're going to go for is his leader, which is Lady Orlinda, which is the lovely Death Bride looking model. She has 7 wounds, so 1 wound. 7 wounds, sorry. Movement of 6 inches, so similar. Bravery 10 and the 4-up save that can't be adjusted due to the Nighthaunt's ability.
What's she called?
Lady Orlinda. Olynder.
Are the War Scrolls still available?
I believe they are.
I don't know, it's because we'll throw them up.
There we go, guys. We're going to be able to chuck the War Scrolls up.
Just give us 1 second and we'll be able to chuck the War Scrolls up for you.
John's far too clever for me for this stuff. If it was just down to me, believe me, it would all catch fire and you'd just hear me in a lot of pain. So while John chucks that up, I'll just give you a quick rundown of her weapon. She's got the Staff of Midnight, which is a missile attack, which is range 2 inches, 3 attacks, 3s to hit, 3s to wound, and -2 rend for D3 damage, so quite handy in a nip. And then for her melee attack, she's got 6 attacks that are 4s to hit and to wound for only 1 damage. So maybe not the greatest in combat, but again, I think she's more of a buffing character that you'd keep at the back rather than getting a right into it.
These war scrolls are available directly on the GW website, so they are kind of open access. And that's the top of the war scroll. It's got a boatload of abilities there. We've also got a Magic pre-release on today in store, so it will be busy and we won't be commentating the whole game. So about that, guys, you might have got some of the table mic there for a second. We might switch over to that if the store gets busy.
So at the moment we're in Paul's turn. Now I don't know if you can see, but in the left hand side of the screen you'll see a random 5 model unit that doesn't seem to be where it should be. Well, it actually is, because that is one of Paul's units. That's his Canary Heart Renders. So they've actually used one of their abilities in which they don't need to set up on the board, and then at the end of any of his movement phases, Paul can just drop them down. So the ability of flying does really pay off now in Age of Sigmar. There's a lot more versatile ways of deploying your units. Majority of units have to deploy at least 9 inches away from an enemy model, so if they did want to charge, it's quite tricky for them to do so. Anyone who's ever rolled 2d6 for a charge range will tell you 9 inches is not the most attainable number. So that's what's going on the left hand side of the screen. He's moving the rest of his units over. Now what's interesting is, with the rules of this mission, obviously he has to keep a unit of 5 within his objective to hold it, and at the moment he is just sort of almost hanging on and just trying to get as many of Sean's Nighthawk models in range of his missile attacks, but also keep them in range of his objectives. So it's playing out really nicely for Paul at the moment. He's got quite a fast army, and it may be a bit of a, not a downfall for the Nighthawks, but they're quite slow, but they're pretty hard to get rid of. So we'll have to see as this game plays out just how far Sean can get his dead across the board, whether he decides to go round the other side of the Necromancer's Tower and stay away from the mass force of Paul's daughters, or whether he decides to go straight through and try and plough his way through.
Quite evenly matched in number of models, aren't they?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting. I mean, this is probably 2 of the largest armies we've got at our 1000 points this weekend.
Yeah.
When you get to see some of the other armies later on the stream.
We got Chris James with 6 models.
Yeah, we've got Chris James with, I think, 6 models for his. He's got the Ogre. What are they called? I've forgotten their name now. They've got their special faction name. They're all on the
Beast Claws, aren't
Beast Claws, that's
it,
Beast Claw Raiders. So he's got Mornfang and Stonehorns throughout his army, and literally that's it. We've also got quite an elite Demons of Khorne army with just Blood Crushers and Scarbrand. We've got a mixture of Nurgle army, Chaos Nurgle army, which features some Pestilence Skaven in there, as well as the Chaos Warriors themselves. Very nicely painted and converted army for Tom Grant, that is. We've got a Zinch Horde army, which is essentially just the Lord of Change, and a load of blue horrors. So that's going to take some chewing through, especially when you kill a blue horror. Obviously they separate into 2 brimstone, and it's just masses of models that you've got to get through. We've got Shirag, who's using a Wanderer's army. So for anyone who's wondering, you know, who are the Wanderers? They're essentially what Wood Elves have turned into that aren't Sylvaneth. So they're not the tree side of it. They are literally Wood Elves, given the Wanderer's name now because they're a bit of a disbanded army, but they're still very usable in Age of Sigmar. We've also got another Daughters of Cain player with a very different army. You'll get to see that later. And who else have we? We've got Skaven, Michael Ball, our current GT champion. At 2,000 points, we'll get to see how he does with 1,000 points. He's gone for a very different army to what he's used to. He's not using any of the Warp Lightning cannons, which anyone who's played against him will tell you are quite harsh and unforgiving. He's gone for more of mass units and some Storm Fiends. So there's a lot of different armies on the tables today, and we'll get as many of the different armies on the stream as possible. And anyone who likes Sigma and also likes 40k, so how we run it here at Weekend Warlords is every other month we rotate it around. So this month's Age Sigma, next month will be Warhammer 40,000, and that is on the 28th of October. The event info and that will be going up tomorrow as well with the ticket. Again, that's 1,000 points. And look, it's a bit off in the distance, but with so many requests in the new year, we'll be looking to arrange a doubles tournament for both systems, as we keep regularly getting requests to do so. So keep an eye on that in the future. Absolutely. And we've
got just getting into combat.
Is that a charge then with the? It is with the Daughters. So we're seeing our first combat. We'll get to see, as I say. I mean, just how quickly he's closed the distance on that table.
Do the Nighthawns really suffer from battle shock at all?
Not really. Their entire armour is bravery 10, so he's really got to chew through those models to actually make a difference. So yeah, this is still round 1, and to get that combat, Paul has an 8-inch move, and he's just managed to roll an 11-inch charge. So this is
in round 1.
In round 1, so this is about as rapid as you can get. And he's just disproven that a 9-inch charge is hard to make, and he's gone and made an 11. So this is getting interesting very quickly.
Now those models in the back there, will they actually be in combat? Will they be close enough to combat?
So it depends on the range of the model's attacks. Also, because it's Paul's turn, he gets to pile in first with one of his units, then it will alternate. But as there's only one unit in combat, he'll pile in 3 inches with as many models as he can, so he can get as many attacks as he can. When it comes round to Sean attacking back, he will also get that 3-inch pile-in move before he rolls his dice. And with the new rules in 2nd edition, they've given you a lot more freedom to wrap your models around rather than having to go to the closest model, giving us a lot more models in combat rather than just things hanging out the back. It speeds up the game. It gives everyone a fighting chance.
Yeah. So what's the advantage of charging in 2nd edition? And
it's just giving you that first unit.
Because obviously some of Sean's models may be out of range at the back there.
They will be for this turn. So yeah, obviously he gets to dictate where his models go first. Yeah. I mean, it's in this situation it gives him a lot more benefits, as he's just got 1 unit in combat. When it comes to having multiple units in combat, you've really got to then think, being the person that's charged, I get to pick the first combat. What's going to make the most difference? What's going to give me, the biggest chance of either wiping out a unit, or, what other units have I got that are a bit more survivable in combat? So at the moment it's really easy. He just gets to pick that unit, kill as many as he can, and then take the knock back. But with multiple units, you really have to start thinking about, who's going to charge where, who's going to then go into combat first, will the other unit survive, what's got the most damage output. It really starts, you get the tactic side of Sigmar from that point. It can make a massive difference. Also, with the movement as well, what point do I go into combat with the unit, and where do I get my 3-inch piling move to sort of negate as many models as I can from the opponent's side. Also, if Paul had moved the furthest model on the right of the unit, if that had crept round to try and get round the unit and get more people in, there's always the chance that he then moves within 3 inches of a second one of Sean's unit, and that unit can then actually join the combat.
All right.
as it's within the 3 inches. So there's a lot of things to look at when you go into combat. But being in this circumstance, having 1 unit on 1 unit, Paul's really got a bit more of the upper hand, just being able to get those attacks in first.
Yeah. Looks like quite a lot of.
It looks like he's got a lot of dice in his hands.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Is that all his?
That was all his wounds, I think.
That was all his wounds. So this will be down to Sean to see how many he can save.
And Sean's counting dice out right now. So about that, guys, the store's starting to get a bit busier now, so the commentary may be a bit intermittent. Sean looks like he's taken quite a hammering there. If you're watching and you've got a Amazon Prime subscription, you may or may not know that you actually get a free subscription to one Twitch channel. If you want to use it, you can use it on our channel. That'll help support us stream more and more games. And it will cost you nothing. Paul losing a model there. Probably not going to make a massive difference to him in this situation. It's what Sean does next that's important. Right guys, we're going to switch over to the mic on the table, so be prepared for your sound to suddenly jump and change. We will come in and commentate when we can, but the store's getting busy, so we won't be able to commentate on everything. I'll see you later.
I will use Lady Olana. I'll cast Reach Stricken on these guys.
Okay. What's that one do?
You are -1 to hit, and all my units are +1 to hit you. Cast 7.
Yep.
1. No.
Cool. I was going to have to stop that one.
If anybody's around today and wants to try the hand at commentating on Age of Sigmar,
I'll cast Shadow Mist on them.
give it a go.
Okay.
Goes off.
That's your last spell, isn't it? So I might as well try and stop it.
It's a 7, so you get a
11?
Denied. Okay then.
You're going to be having nightmares of those snake teeth.
Yeah. Don't worry, I've got plans now. Okay, I'm going to lift the veil on them.
Okay.
Okay, I roll dice. This is an ability. Roll dice. On 2 up, I'll take that many mortal wounds.
So the table might's picking up commentary now from you.
Yeah.
So pressure's on. Is that what we got? Yeah. Do you want to come down and select which steps you want, guys?
Now go on to the movement phase.
Yep.
And go bring in my banshees.
So there's a knife found here, I imagine.
And they're in different guilds, so whichever guild you want.
Oh, thank you, mate.
You would.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
What does it say?
I can still put it, we've put it open and prevented, so there's the 2 silver deck boxes there, pre-release party, where you put those ones pre-release party, and then add the other ones when they come later, so each one the numbers are.
Are those exceptionally standard?
Yeah.
Just put these pictures up there.
Not very good at hitting things though.
Okay. 45 minutes to build your deck.
Right. There we go. Same moved up. I'm going to shoot the phase. I'm going to use Whale of the Damned.
Yeah.
Okay. On them guys, I roll a 2d6, and if it beats your bravery, you play d3 mortal wounds.
Okay, you don't need to hit. 7? 8?
Doesn't beat your bravery, so nothing happens.
I'm getting lucky against this can't last the whole game. I'm just looking at
That's all the shooting I got. Charges.
Yep.
They're going to charge them.
Yep.
They make it.
Yeah. I do like the fact they made it a double 1 roll if you fail.
Oh no, wait, that's a 10.
10, yeah.
Oh.
So you can go elsewhere.
No, 10 gives me special.
How does it?
If I roll a 10 plus in my charge, I immediately get to attack.
Ooh. So you get a charge, so you'll have an attack and
I
then
charge,
another
attack, then get another attack later on.
Shift the balance of swung.
I won't say just yet.
There's one that's trying to get rid of stuff keep construction in the app and then email stuff. Well, that's just it, isn't it? You've got to. I mean, that one.
Probably going to lose about 3 or 4 of these, I think.
You get piling as well or no? No, I just get to attack straight away, don't get a piling, so.
Okay.
$14. Right. Because there's more, because there's 10, more than 10, they get to reroll 3 rolls of 1.
Okay.
And because he's within 12 of them, which I forgot about the first one, they get to add 1 to the twin rolls as well.
Okay, so you wounded on 3s, re-rolling 1s, is it? Yeah.
Still 40 hits.
Do you want to roll them under the little camera things? Is it?
Yeah.
Just against a big roll like this. Otherwise it falls to hit.
Yep. All the misses.
Oh, a lot of hits.
Lot of attacks.
And then 3s, re-rolling 1s.
Yep. 2 ones.
So a lot of wounds.
Yep, that's how many wounds you get. So that'll be 2,
sandwiched you.
4,
Yeah.
6, 8, 10, 12, 14 wounds. This isn't even the combat phase.
No, this
I rolled a 10 on my charge, and Nighthawk rules are if you roll a 10
You get to attack
or up,
before the combat. Yeah,
I get an extra. No, I don't get to attack before. I get an extra. But I can pick them to attack again later on.
So 5s followed and then 6s.
Yeah.
I got done by more, but with that. Not
6 there. 6 there. So at least 2 are living.
What is it? Six? Is it
5s for my armor save, and then 6s for their abilities.
Beautiful paint jobs on your stuff. It's alright. Not ridiculous.
No. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dead.
Okay.
So,
Don't take
yeah.
Well,
He's got to die. So 1 will be left on 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. And then I'll just put a single wound on that one.
pop it to the
Yeah.
Ouch! Yeah. And then the banshees will try and charge your archers there. So that makes a 9-inch charge.
Yeah.
Come on, 10. No. Not lucky twice.
Really, Banshee?
Yeah.
I like it, so both of you have gone for like deep strike abilities in your
I've
army.
still got a unit to come as well.
Very
I was
nice.
holding them back to see where these go.
Very nice, man.
The best part about Nighthawk though is I'd spend command ability to just take them off the board again. And
Provided you've still got your command.
Still got 2. Okay. So they're going to attack
Yes,
first.
fine in.
Yeah. You thought you were safe.
No. Then the others will just be
Try and get it in if you can.
down.
One is reached.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 again.
Double check, can't squeeze. No, it's just one of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. And because the lead's in there, he gets 1 extra attack.
Okay.
Yes, so he's 1 extra.
50. Well, I just lost 5 to this attack, so.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It's 1 attack. Right, so that is same thing again, forced to hit. Not hit as well this time, at least.
Still a low hit.
Yeah, but any hits with 50. Right, so it's 3s for rolling 1s. I like that with rolling 1s.
I needed to see 2s.
Well, there's a few 2s for you. This will be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13.
6, 12, 13. I think they're gone.
Oh, you never know. We've got 6 there and a 5 there.
Yeah.
You rolled pretty well for that.
6s, yeah. And 6s again.
I don't think they're all gone.
1, 2, 3, 4. If I roll 1, one will live. No, all dead.
How many wounds was that? 2, 4, 6.
Oh, yeah.
7 left. 7 wounds
How many
left.
did-
So how many were that?
Shit. I think it was 7, wasn't it? Yeah, because I worked out I needed to roll at least 1 to save him.
So do you want me to just give you them? First blood.
Yes. Ouch.
Don't underestimate the power of the horde.
He was holding that 10 for your charge.
I know.
I'd have been. I think I'd have been, well, survived pretty well before that.
Yeah.
Okay. On the defensive now.
Your turn.
Yeah. So I get a point.
And this was after all my spells and abilities failed.
So what's their movement? 6.
6 inches.
And they're 6 as well.
No, they're 8.
Well,
So the fastest moving thing in this time.
I'll cast Pit of Shades on the big unit then.
Quick.
So an 8.
I'll attempt to deny.
Yeah.
Failed. 2.
I'll just make sure that 8.
Pit shades do then.
I roll 2d6, and whatever I beat your movement by, you take a mortal wound.
Okay.
I think that's the one anyway. Sorry, I'll just double checking. Fish Shades, well, cast a 7, yeah, successful. Roll 2 dice and add the scores together. The enemy suffers a mortal wound for each point I beat their movement by. So.
Okay, so which unit targeting, the small one or the big one?
It's the big one. Okay. You need, yeah, 'cause you only need 5 rolls to contest your movement's 6, aren't you? 6, so nothing.
Perfect.
Yeah. She'll cast the murder spell thing on them, a prayer.
2.
Yeah. And she'll also give them a witch's brew, which it's a 1-use thing. Within 3, they are. If we roll failed wound rolls, and don't have to take battle shock tests.
Yeah.
So, movement. Inches away from him. Yeah, I'm thinking those 3-inch gauges are going to be quite handy for playing this. These ones have a movement 14. So if I get over there, I want 3 away from these. step back, try and get some shots off. Oh, what the heck?
How many wounds does the Medusa have, by the way, mate?
Oh, that's a shrine. The Medusa has 6 wounds.
Okay.
Not that easy. Well, sorry, that is, she is easy to kill. Good. 8 inches to there.
How much money you spending?
I haven't done a charge for the chance.
I think similar to Celestial, aren't they?
Hornbow, a unit from Hornbow can charge even if they run the same turn, so I might as well run them as well.
Yeah. Make sure they're in.
Another one. It's time for me to have some bad dice rolls.
Hopefully.
And then these will do the same. I get to have 3, so they get to move 9. To that corner of that track. Basically in the back, the furthest one goes there.
We're so close, it really upsets me.
This lady, she will also run.
Yep.
So she'll go up to 12.
She gets the 6.
So she's basically going to run around to those steps there.
Yeah.
Just to... This is my house now. That's my movement.
Shoot in.
Yeah. Okay. So 5 shots here. Well, I'll do my Medusa first.
Yeah.
Because hers is reliant on numbers. So, how many's in that unit? 10?
10.
So, 10 on a 5 up, take them all the wounds. They only got 1 wound each? Or?
Yeah.
So, 5 ups, they take multiple wounds. But you get 6 up against, don't you?
No.
Oh, they don't?
It's only when you're within 12 of one of my heroes.
Oh, okay. 3,
5 up? 4?
5 ups, yeah, so 4.
4 banshees die.
Cool. The only thing with GW models are lovely, but they're so flimsy as well. It's like,
The Chainmask 4 are perfect though, because they look lovely, but they're not flimsy.
Then 5 shots off of my archers into them.
Okay.
So I think that should be 3s and 3s again. Yep, 3 and 3s. 2 misses. 3 wounds.
Pause. Make all but 1. Another
As the camera just shoots over to my side.
1 more banshee die.
Because they ignore rends, don't they? Well,
Yeah. All night won't ignore rend.
yeah. God damn it, I have some good rend in these things.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
Charge. Oh,
they're
shooting.
shooting up here. So, am I -1 to hit that guy over there?
That guy, yes.
Okay. So he's... I might as well thin down the big unit, I think.
Yeah. If you want to, you can try. Start pulling the spells in.
How many wounds does he have? Then your guy.
A little bit. He fights it all.
5 wounds. No. You know what? I'll shoot at him. So that's +1 to hit. So I'm hitting now because your pesky stuff. So 4 to hit, 3 wounds.
I don't know where everyone is, because we have.
But, so they become 4s, that stays a 3 because they get +1.
In Germany.
3 hits.
One time from that.
2 wounds. Annoying wounds.
4 saves.
They move around everywhere, like each
Yep, he's all okay.
We have got
I'll see if they can move. They can't move afterwards, which I was hoping for. And up there, those guys will shoot at.
They are the nicest
So,
guys.
yeah, Sunday's pretty
How many wounds does she have?
Yeah.
7.
The
And
best
she's on
place to
-1 hit,
start
is she?
probably pre-release.
So I'll have a shot at her.
Yeah, I think it's
I think.
28.
No, I'll shoot at the green guys.
Okay.
Because instead of pre-release, you build it from the bottom.
So 3's to hit, but she's 2's +1.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you're not going to get
Blue dice.
3's.
spending like 500 quid on a deck.
3 wounds.
And then
3 5 ups.
that,
Yeah. Finally got through those 5 ups.
3 6 ups. Fail
Oh.
all of them.
that's a bit more serious, but if you really want to get
Three
into
more chain rest,
early
yeah.
points
I'm within 3 anyway,
you'll
so
go from there to
can't do
there
I?
in one day.
I think I'm within 3 on
You're not.
No?
No, you are.
I'm within 4. So I might as well do that to just get that extra inch.
It'll be on next week because the only time
No,
it's not
don't.
is the second week.
I need to make a charge of 4.
I'm
going to
make it.
fail. I'm going to
It'll
fail.
be on next week, so it's the first weekend of the month. Then all
Okay, so
back.
charges.
We always like, so the folders.
I will start with this unit 10 into those guys. I get to reroll 1s now.
Don't think you want to make it.
That's a 5. I can reroll 1s, but 5 gets me in. I might as well reroll it just to get that extra.
Because if you roll a 1, the worst that happens is you're in.
Yeah, so I've got a 6. So.
And yesterday I bought a deck.
Right.
I went to the tabletop title.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'll get a deck.
Yeah.
I've been playing that online last night.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's the best place to be to like get to play it. I mean, are you now in Loughborough for uni or?
I've worked with you quite a lot. My work was on campus, so it's like the drive to town.
Fantastic,
Yeah, so I thought like to get.
Especially on a Sunday, if you're lucky enough to get
Okay.
outside the shop on a Sunday.
I'll see if these can charge anyone.
If not,
I've been
exactly. So it's always good for a Sunday.
So we go.
Oh,
5, that's
I
in.
might get
Yeah. I'll aim into them. Yeah, if you don't mind. I just want to make sure that those 2 can get into that gap.
Yeah, take the whole thing.
Okay.
They're my heavy hitter unit at the moment. Gotta see about these winged.
That's because you're on the other heavy hitter, just bit the dust.
Yeah. So I'll find out about these winged ones, see if they can do anything. 8. Yep.
Nope.
So,
They just go.
Yeah.
Nope.
that's what about. And then those guys up there,
Yeah,
guys now.
the double ones, but I can reroll 1s.
Well, that was just what was going to happen, wasn't it? There you go.
5. So yeah, we're in. So yeah, I'll just find it with them guys. Yeah, best I can. I feel like I shouldn't charge them.
They're not that bad. I mean, they do mortal wounds.
Yeah, but they only do mortal
I
wounds.
said they don't.
Oh. No, I'll wait, I think. Okay then, so combat. I'll start with my heavy hitter guys, so 3-inch piling.
Yep.
7 foot. Yeah,
Rod
so we won't
sisters
put
of slaughter.
twist on it.
Sorry?
Are they?
Oh no, they're just witches.
Oh, they're just normal.
I gave the whips, because these come from my 8th edition, so the sergeants in my units all have the whips.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, but he always sort of like bottles out the last.
okay, so should be within 7 of her. Need that way, yep.
Chops and changes too much, he never said. He never really learns
So-
to utilise it. The after sleeves, bud?
They just.
No,
2
they're
attacks
right
basic.
side, Pokemon. Same for yourself, you want standards. We haven't got many of the standards.
First on burn unit, attack shot to the 12
All
2
the
dice.
things down there are units, so it'll be too small for you guys.
I've got paired knives, it gives me +1, and I'm within 7 of her, so each of them
Well,
have 4
next week
attacks
when there's
each.
a few more
Okay,
players,
so how many can you
I
roll
like
at
to
a time?
sometimes do tutorials and stuff like that, but we're trying to commentate on this game in front of us at the moment. So we're in and out.
I can roll 4
Just
to
live
go,
streaming from the rig.
and I'll use them to count. And
Does the
then
leader get any extras?
she has
Oh,
1
did you?
hit.
Okay.
So she sits on 2s.
I'll do her first then, and then do
You're not playing
Double check.
because this is the home of X, right?
If you need,
I've got loads of taunts on.
I can reroll power to wounds and relays, and I don't take battle shots.
I
Okay, so I get to rid. So I'm hitting on 3s. So I'll do her first. So 4 attack, she's hitting on 2s. Oh, actually, I can do 5 with a go.
Choose on 9.
2s, wounds on 4s, revolving.
Yeah. Extreme.
Choose to hit.
Everything.
Of course, you get the ones.
And then 4s, reroll fails. Reroll that one. So 2 to start with.
So it's 2. Is that
Yeah,
you going
alright,
straight for wounds?
Choose no, I've just. Oh yes, that was her. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
That's wounds. That's 2 saves have gone each so far.
And then this is the first 5.
All the dragon shield.
And you've got what, 4 more after this?
Yeah, 3 to hit and. No,
This is the end of yours, turn 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. A good roll means a good roll for me.
Yeah. Oh, there's a 3. Okay, and then I've got another
You
4.
roll all misses or just?
Just wound, failed
Just for
wounds.
wounds.
So then I've got another. So that's been 6 guys.
Do I do them wounds first?
Yeah.
Or?
And these are 4s followed with rerolls.
That looks good for me.
Dice aren't playing game. Come on, dice.
Oh, there you go. Got 1, 6,
5.
7 wounds.
And then I've got 4 guys left. 3.
They're doing a good job. I bet they do normally. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, this is what I'm supposed to say. 1 miss out of that lot. That's what they're meant to do.
Yeah. I'm happy to.
4s.
It's not chocolate. Is there any chocolate in that?
And then reroll these.
Yep.
So 5, another 11.
11.
See,
7
that's-
out of 11 is
18.
18.
Yeah. 18 saves.
Lovely.
Sorry, I'm not too. Looks good for me.
I made 1.
2.
Oh, 2, thank you.
And then 6s.
And 66s.
Two more.
I'm happy with that. So that's 14 dead.
Yep. Take that. Means my other unicorn will get to attack. You could have started it the other way.
Ouch.
I feel your pain, mate. I feel your pain.
My turn.
Yeah,
I'm going to pick these guys here.
yeah. Yeah, my harpies aren't that hard to kill.
Good. My chain master not doing the combat. That's 6.
My whole plan is just try and get down to 4. That's all I needed for them guys.
Move all my dice out of the way. Hitting on 4s. Rolled pretty well. Wounding on 3. Wait a minute. Range. Oh, so yeah. Each within range.
Yeah, so 3 to win.
On 3s.
6 saves.
2, 4, 6. Yep. Fail them all and I'll be happy.
6 is followed by 6s. So it's going to be pretty difficult.
Hey!
1, and then 6s again. 1 lives.
Hey!
So,
Then
yeah.
leave the free one.
Yeah. Okay.
got the paladin.
Sorry? No.
So
What range do you have to be? Is it, you got to be within half an inch, haven't you?
you've got a range on the weapon.
No, I was thinking, I'm not classed as being in
No,
melee
you're
range of
not
him,
classed
am
as
I?
being-
So I'll do my one guy up there then.
Yeah.
One attack, force it, force the wound. But it does have to want some of my hit rolls because of the leader. So 3's to hit. No. Okay.
Battle shock.
Yeah.
I've got to spend a command point to make them immune.
Yeah.
No wait, these guys haven't attacked yet.
I know. No, yours, yeah.
Yeah. Pile in. Six models. Hitting on 4s.
That's still good. Which is on hard to kill.
Wounding on 3s.
4.
4.
4 saves of 6. Followed by 6. 1 save. For 6. 3 dead. Just take 3 more witches off.
Awesome. Okay, now it's battle shock.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the command point to keep them alive.
I'll spend 1 to keep that. Yeah. There we can, witches we make them immune this turn to battle shock.
Awesome. So that's turn roll off.
Yeah.
Just letting you know, guys, half hour left on the round, okay?
Right.
You get to go first. You need that, I think.
Yeah. I think I've lost it.
Okay. So, magic. Boop, boop. It's very close. Yeah, yep. She's in within there. So, whereas with the shades on 7, doesn't pass.
Okay.
She'll do her thing to the bigger unit. Totally forgot about that with them. I just I'd have got more hits. Yep. I need to buy those little tokens so I can put them next to the unit.
I've only got one for Mystic Shield, because I always forget about Mystic Shield.
Can't do which will go in this turn, so then movement. So I've got to stay with 3.
Right there. Sorry about the silence on round guys.
I just feel like I might need to charge you just to get within 3, just to be, if I do have to make that charge. These ones will go, so we'll go 14. Fire 9. Okay, just pinch a dice to roll for their run as well. 1. 7. So does stay about 3. So there.
So sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so we are coming up to we're just under the half-hour limit, time limit left on the round. We've had a couple of games finish up on our other tables. Chris James with his ogres have beaten our other Daughters of Cain player today. I think it was just a case of the sheer rapid speed of the Mournfang and Stonehorns just absolutely giving the Daughters of Cain no chance to get to where they wanted to be, and just the pure shock attack of it has managed to win them that. A couple other games near to completion as well, with the Demons of Khorne struggling over the sheer numbers of the Nurgle Chaos. On the table in front of us with Sean and Paul, I think Paul's managed to get right in Sean's face just so quickly that Sean has been on the back foot for most of the game. And in their third turn, it's going to be interesting to see whether Paul will take the objective, giving him the total victory at the end of turn 3. To do so, he needs to have at least a unit of 5 miniatures controlling the objective just in front of his Witch Elves, which is in Sean's table half, as he already has his Medusa at the back of the board holding his own. We've seen a couple of different things in the game, both sides using deployment units that can come on from reserve, so a lot of fast-paced like movement, and both armies seeming to have the ability to roll failed saves with a sort of 6-up feel no pain after they've failed their save. Has made it a really nice balanced game. I know both the guys have been enjoying just how sort of balanced it's been. I just think it's slightly tipped in Paul's favour. So yeah, 26 minutes 42 left on the round, still to play for in this game, but it will look like Paul is going to just be able to nip the victory if he can just remove those last few models out of Sean's units.
So I think Ben Collins just lost to Tom Grant.
So the Skaven managed to finally get rid of the last of the demons on Juggernauts.
Well, yeah. I mean, those Skaven, the basic
And
guys,
the Plague Monks he's using.
the
Yeah.
Plague Monks, they get a horrendous number of attacks, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, with Plague Monks, it's quite interesting because there's a lot of armies that have units with paired weapons that get re-rolls to hit of a 1, and for some reason, Plague Monks managed to nip through with getting re-rolls to hit of all their failed hits.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was, being it was one of the first Grand Alliance books that was released when Age of Sigmar first come about, and it hasn't really been tapped on since. Whether they might change that in up-and-coming books, we'll have to wait and see, but they definitely get a benefit from him. Again with the +1 attack on their charge as well, and even when they die in combat they get to roll a dice for each model that dies, not a roll of a 6, they do a mortal wound to the unit that killed them.
It was saying when they he's played, is it Bloodborne, the corn that actually get that same rule.
Yep.
And when the two units hit each other, they just wipe each other out because they're just going back and
Yeah, the
forth.
Bloodborne that sort of when they die they get to attack back the Blood Warriors. So things were exposed. But yeah, it must just wipe each other out. I mean, it's quite an interesting game. I don't think we've ever actually rolled this game in our monthly tournament before, and it's quite interesting that when you have an elite army with such fewer models, it's quite hard for them to end up holding both objectives. So they have to go for the damage and wiping out your opponents. And unfortunately for Ben, he's just, even with Scarbrand being as big a nuisance as he can, he's not been able to kill as many things as quickly as he could before Tom's able to actually hold that objective at the end of turn 3 and just kill the game off there and then. Because it's one of the only missions where you can just, stop the game halfway through, essentially, in the round numbers. Whereas on the flip side, with Chris James and his, his Mornfang, being able to get across the board so quickly with free movement, rolling on his Frost chart, and then getting in the Daughters of Cain face so early on, they didn't have the chance to react or redeploy in the way they would, and he's managed to wipe them down to one model in 5 turns. Yeah. So he hasn't managed to get both objectives, but he will get the victory on points for the amount of stuff that he's killed. And on the flip side of that, when you see how the Daughters of Cain can be different if they get the opportunity to deploy how they want and get the rapid speed across the table, this really is a war of attrition for Sean at the moment, in the fact that he's just got to hold on enough models so that Paul doesn't have the objective by the end of this round and take the victory himself. So, difference between who gets to go first, difference between elite armies and how quick they are. It's really nice to see that no matter what army you use, every army's different, and even the same army can have 2, completely different games, just on how people how their opponents play.
Paul's done very well to get across the table. So
absolutely. I mean, first turn charges. For cavalry armies like Chris James's ogres, that's one thing. But getting an 11-inch charge, that's just luck in giving you some absolute immense sort of movement there. Two of the other games that are still going on are Nurgle Demons against Skaven, which that looked like it seemed to be back and forth, with both armies having a lot of models to sort of throw away in combat, and some elite stuff. So Mike Stormfiends, which normally do tend to put in a lot of damage output, had a bit of a fluff dice roll, and it seemed that they were really struggling to deal with some just plague drones from the Nurgle side of it. And also a bit of a stalemate between the Zinch Demons and the Wanderers, in the fact that the Horrors are trying to move across the table, and the archery from the Wanderers is just knocking them straight down before
Yeah.
they can get across. And it does seem like it may come to a draw, as no side's going to have both objectives, and it will just come down to however many points has been killed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, as I said, with this mission, I don't think we've ever rolled this mission before on our tournaments. It's been great. It's been a great mission to really show diversity and what people's armies have been able to do. Remember, guys, if you have got any questions, chuck them up on the chat. If you are in either YouTube or on our Twitch channel, whatever you ask us will pop up on the screen, and we'll do our best to answer it as quickly as possible. This is obviously our bi-monthly Warhammer Age of Sigmar tournament, which we run every 2 months. Next month is our Warhammer 40k tournament on the 28th of October. That's the same 3 games over the day. A lovely mixture of armies. There's only 14 spaces to make sure once the event goes up tomorrow you get your tickets as quickly as possible. What else have we got coming up at the moment in store?
Pokemon pre-release.
We've got the Pokemon pre-release, which is in
20th to the 28th. There's
we've got
4 dates, I think.
4 dates, because we've got
They're on the Facebook page.
they're all on the
so-
Facebook page. We've got a couple of weekends, and then we've got the midweek one on the Wednesday, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah. There's always our X-Wing.
Obviously, every second weekend, sorry, not every 2 weekends, every second weekend of the month, we have our Saturday and our Sunday X-Wing tournament. If you're a fan of X-Wing and you're big in the community, you'll know where we are.
There'll be live streaming going on.
Absolutely.
This time, both tournaments are the same size. So normally the Saturday is slightly smaller than the Sunday, but we've pushed the boat out, and Saturday and Sunday will be as big as each other this time. And it will be the start of our season. So Weekend Warlords will be running a veteran season from October to October, with a chance to get an invite to a veterans tournament. That's for X-Wing.
We've also got a Pokemon Cup coming up. It is in November, but they do fill up rapidly, and Pokemon Cups being League Cups, being a way of getting yourself a nice chunk of points to go towards World and National invites.
Yeah,
We do get good numbers for that. That's coming up November 4th, but the tickets are already up on the
tickets
on the
are already
website.
selling well, so get on to that. Numbers are limited. We have sold out before.
We
so
have 60
if
players.
you're
That was a
hanging
fun
back
day.
waiting. Yeah, it took quite a long time.
Ash said he's running this one, isn't he?
I'm pretty sure he did.
I'm pretty sure Ash said, yeah, he definitely wants to run
He
the
was
one
taking the professor exam and the judge exam to make sure he could run it all on his own.
He loves it.
Yeah, just to prove what wimps we are.
So just under 20 minutes left on this round, guys, on our first round of our Age of Sigmar tournament. After this round, we will be breaking for lunch, give the guys a chance to go and fuel themselves, as a lot of them have had to get up early this morning to get across. So after this, we will be having a 45-minute break. The guys will be back for 1:45, and the second round will get started at 1 o'clock. So make sure you get back on these streams. We'll be streaming another game at 1 o'clock. If you aren't already, make sure you subscribe to both or either of our Twitch or YouTube accounts, because not only will you be able to watch all the streams, but you also get notifications when we're putting them up, I believe.
Yes, that's right. We stream all the games in store. Well, pretty much not all of them. 'cause
So
that
as
would
many
be
as we can.
Crazy.
Yeah. Especially when we have days with mixed games. But we
Yeah.
also have giveaways on our Twitch, don't we?
On our YouTube and Twitch we sometimes do giveaways. In fact, we've got a giveaway that's just finished that we need to pull the result of.
Oh, we need to find someone to win that copy of Nightbolt.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for Sean, I'm pretty sure we've just seen a lot of his chain wraps unit get taken away there, maybe all of it, which I'm gonna say I think is gonna give Paul the victory at the end of the full third battle round, unless in Sean, I know he's looking at one of his things with his war scroll. I'm wondering if he's going to try and summon back enough models to keep it, but we're going to have to see what's going on.
There's definitely some magic going on there, I think, isn't
3 dice. Can be interesting. In fact, I'm going to be a Roman supporter. I'm going to go find out what's going on. I'll be back.
What we got?
So
We got some results.
I have. So with the guys on the stream at the moment, they're just in their 3rd battle round. So it's going to have to be at the end of this round to see whether Paul will get the victory or not. But I think it might be a foregone conclusion. So we had Shirag with his Wood Elf Wanderers against Dave Zinch. Unfortunately, neither was really willing to commit their forces across the board because they're both relying on magic or artillery. And it went to a minor victory for Shirag, getting 220 points. Yeah, minor win with 220, and Dave getting 40. And then with Ben and Tom, it was quite interesting because. Oh. There we go. And so with Ben Collins and Tom Grant.
Yep.
Tom won the game, but he's only going to get a minor victory himself as well because he wiped out his opponent's models before he could get to the objective.
Oh, no.
So he's going to get a minor victory with 950 points.
950 points? Wow.
Yeah, and Ben's going to get 160 as a consolidation for killing some knights. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Not being able to get to the objective, Ben forcing his models into combat to basically not allow him the full scope of his win, which is quite interesting with Ben. You know, if you're on the downward spiral, you know, playing it tactically, you're going to go and sort of just try and, you know, scupper your opponent as best you can.
Yeah. So guys, if you go to the link that I threw up at the start, I'll throw it up again. You will be able to see the results as they come in live. Look at the ladder and see who's in the lead and who hasn't reported their games yet. Come up to the last few minutes of the tournament, of this round, sorry.
So we've got another result. Mr. Chris James is also going to get a minor victory. Where are we? Where's Chris James? There we are. So Chris James gets a minor win, killing 880 points. But unfortunately not being able to take the objective purely because he's Mornfang and doesn't have enough models, against John getting 160. So well done, Chris, there. So we're just waiting on Ben against Michael Ball, and obviously the on-stream game, which is Mr. Paul O'Boyle, using the Daughters of Cain on the right against Sean McGinley on the left with his Nighthawks. Just over 10 minutes left on the round.
Just come into the last 4 minutes of the round, guys. At the moment, we've got 3 results in, I believe. Only minor wins so far. We've got Shirag on a minor win, Chris James on a minor win, and Tom Grant on a minor win. And minor losses for David White, John Donaldson, and Ben Collins. The game on your stream at the moment is probably going to go to Tom, I think. Sorry, not Tom, Paul. So who's it look like who's going to win, do you think?
I don't know. I think it's now going to actually end up as a minor victory for one or the other, because it seems that Sean has managed to keep that objective out of the hands of Paul. So it's going to be interesting, because I don't think, excuse me, anyone's going to get the major victory. With the poor Michael versus Ben game, Ben ends up getting a minor victory, killing 770 points of Mike Skaven. Mike getting the minor loss, but killing 320 points of Nurgle Demons. So we are literally just waiting on the result of this stream. We've got 27 seconds left on the round, but they'll be calling it at the end of the full third battle round. This is just the ending of it, I believe.
So points today acting kind of like margin of victory for the games?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
With 10 players, there is a possibility that we'll end up with people on the same score at the end of the day for minor victories, major victories, etc. So the points value working as a margin of victory to give us a definitive winner.
So it's still important to kill things.
Absolutely.
Which is what it's all about, isn't it?
Well, I mean, it is, but it's great because with the, I mean, I've been so impressed with Age of Sigma since the General's Handbook last year, and it's just coming on leaps and bounds. We've just given you multiple ways to win and lose games, but you know, it's encouraging that you don't stand still. It's encouraging you go in and get involved with your opponent's army, but at the same time, it's giving you objective-based missions, so you still have to think tactically about where you're deploying and where you're leaving certain units.
Time has run out.
Etc. I'm going to go and call time on the round, see what these guys have managed.
So just the game on stream at the moment to come in. We will probably stop this stream and start a new one for the next round, so stay tuned to Twitch and YouTube to see what's going on. Right, final result. Paul won that. It was really close. James will come in with the result in a second. So it was 570 to Paul and 480 to Sean. So a very small margin of victory there. Nobody winning a major victory so far. So all the results are in for this round. Just put up the standings for you so you can see. So Tom Grant in the lead there, and bring up the rear David White. So I'll just let that go for a minute and then we're going to stop the stream and start a new one for the next round. You got anything to say about this round?
I think it's quite interesting that no one managed to get a major victory. So as an objective-based game with only 2 objectives, you think it'd be quite quick, but no one was able to take the objective from the opponent through different reasons, whether it be unit size, just a war of attrition where everyone's getting shot in the middle as soon as they move across the board. It's just been really interesting for a first round, so it's literally just on strength of schedule after the first round. We'll see what happens in the second one, and that'll be at 1 o'clock.
Okay, see you later.